Welcome to The Truth. I'm John Gordon, and we have just 10 days left before the 2024 presidential election. I don't know about you, but I didn't think it would ever get here. But folks, it is just right upon us. And that we have never had, if there's one thing that all the candidates agree on, we have never had a more important election. And Trump says if he doesn't win, that this may be our last election. So does Elon Musk. Trump has all the momentum. And y'all, he has gone everywhere. He has been willing to go into the hornet's nest. He has gone into Brooklyn. He has gone into Queens. He has gone back to Butler, Pennsylvania, where they tried to assassinate him. He's gone to California. And what about Kamala Harris? Where has she gone? Oh, she's gone on Oprah, and she went on 60 Minutes with a friendly interviewer. And she did not go to the Al Smith dinner, by the way. And I'm going to talk a lot about that in just a moment. But Trump has the momentum. He has the momentum because he lives a mile right over here. And I know where he is. I don't know where he is, but I know when he's coming and when he's going because the helicopter hovers right above me. Last night, it hovered at midnight because that's what time the man got home. And this morning, 7 a.m., because he was back out on the road again this morning. No one has kept a schedule like Donald Trump. If sheer grit, brawn, and sweat determines who wins, Trump wins by a landslide. And he's built coalitions. He has gone after non-traditional Republican voters like Hispanics and like blacks and like suburban housewives who need to come back to the Republican Party. If you want a child to be raised around teachers with values that are not going to bring their own biases into the classroom and pollute your children's mind with garbage like gender dysphoria and political correctness and critical race theory, then you need to vote for Donald Trump. It's just plain and simple. It's just that simple. I don't want any political dogma in the classroom. Do you? It's sacred ground. It's where young minds are molded. It's where the brain is open for learning, and they need to learn reading and writing and arithmetic and U.S. history, not black history, not white history, not Hispanic history, American history. So yeah, Trump has built coalitions because he's reached out to the likes of Elon Musk, who's told us that he was a Democrat. Not anymore. He's seen through it. Elon and I, we are so perfectly aligned. I just love this man. I really do. Elon is one of the brightest people on earth, but he is grounded in common sense. And he says, these people, they go to Washington to make laws, but they never take any laws off the books. So after 2 centuries of lawmaking, everything in America is illegal. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. And that's what keeps the bureaucrats in power. It's not just the laws, it's all the regulations that these untouchable bureaucrats author that equally cause us to live in basically a fascist regime. I know it sounds harsh. I derive no joy in saying that. But the fact is that today, every living American can be charged with a crime with the stroke of a pen of a vengeful bureaucrat. It needs to stop. Elon sees it, Trump sees it, and Robert Kennedy Jr. sees it. Robert Kennedy Jr., the man whose family is synonymous with the Democratic Party, the party that his uncle and brother and father were affiliated, and all of his cousins, his uncle and his father, both of whom were assassinated. And he becomes a candidate for president of the United States, and under federal law, He is entitled to Secret Service protection. And what does Joe Biden do? He withholds it. Then the Secret Service go to Butler, Pennsylvania. They may as well have put a neon sign out that says, "Come on in." And we still don't know all the answers to all the questions that need to be answered about Butler. I haven't let it go. I hope you won't. But Thomas Matthew Crooks was visited from somebody in Washington, D.C. because their cell phone crumbs took them right back to Gallery Place, where the FBI and the Secret Service and other federal agencies have a bevy of offices. It doesn't pass the smell test. And I still want to know, where is Maxwell Urich from Arizona? They towed his van away from Butler. He was named in the moments after the attempted assassination as a person of interest. Then the news media came out and said, "Oh no, we got it wrong. It's really Thomas Matthew Crooks." But then Maxwell Urich's parents filed a missing persons report on him the next day, and to my knowledge, he has not been seen or heard from since. And Crooks's body was cremated 10 days after the attempted assassination. We don't really know that it was Matthew Crooks whose body was cremated. The would-be assassin had a scar on his left ear. Crooks didn't have a scar on his left ear, but Maxwell Urich did, because he used to wear gauges. But I want answers. I want answers to these questions, and I believe that the only way we are going to get answers is to get Donald Trump elected president of the United States, which is the reason that they are doing everything they possibly can to prevent him from becoming president. And folks, you've got to see it, and you've got to join me and everybody else. We all have to join in a citizens' revolution to get Trump in office, and then demand that he does what he promised and drain the swamp once and for all. The wokeism needs to be sucked out of Washington, and it needs to be cleaned out with a big old fire hose. And these people who don't love the Constitution and don't love the Bill of Rights and don't love our country, they need to be fired out of here. So Trump has also received endorsements from the Fraternal Order of the Police, from Border Patrol officers, and he is doing well among non-traditional Republican voters like Hispanics, who are 49% for Trump and 38% for Harris. Blacks are 17% for Trump and 72% for Harris, but that's up 4%, and it may be higher. Black men are leaving Harris in droves. But for one thing, they don't like Barack Obama telling them who they have to vote for. Barack Obama said, "I'm upset with you because you're not supporting Kamala Harris. I think you're sexist." And boy, did that turn some people off. A lot of black men really resented that comment. And so they're coming to Trump. They're coming to Trump because they know that Trump is telling the truth and that the Harris campaign is based on a foundation of lies. And did you hear that just this week, Biden had a slip of the tongue and said that he thinks that we should lock Trump up? And it just validated everything we've already known. Everything that I've been telling you for a year. It validated it. That what the Department of Justice did under Biden's direction was lawfare, and it was designed to eliminate his political opponent. And then he said this week that we should lock Trump up. And he said, and then he caught himself. He said, I shouldn't have said that. I just mean we should not let him become president. What? I think the cat was out of the bag, and it was a little too late to grab those words and stick them back in. He had already uttered the words that everyone knew to be his state of mind. Trump, folks, is working. Last night at midnight, the helicopter was hovering over my house as Trump was returning from the campaign trail. This morning at 7 a.m., the helicopter was back over my house as Trump was leaving to go back out on the campaign trail. He went to Georgia this week for a star-studded event. I was invited to attend. I'm sorry I couldn't. But we do have a choice, ladies and gentlemen, and that choice was clearly illustrated this week.